Today I'm sharing two old-fashioned style recipes. The first one is our classic potato soup. This recipe has been in my family for years and you just can't go wrong with it. And then we're going to go straight to dessert with this old-fashioned peanut butter cake. It actually comes from my cookbook. You don't want to miss either one of these. Let's get into it. First up today, we have this classic potato soup. This recipe, like I said, has been in my family for years. I remember having this as a little girl. My grandmother made it. My mom's made it. I've passed this recipe to friends as I've gotten older, and you just can't go wrong with it. You can add in your favorite things if I don't include them in this recipe. It's such a good base recipe, but it's also just that classic potato soup. You don't need a whole lot in here. It's just homey, cozy, and just downright delicious. So first we're going to start by melting some butter, and I just have a little bit of chopped onion over here. We're going to let that saute for a few minutes while we chop and peel and chop our potatoes. My favorite potatoes to use for this are russet potatoes, but you can also use golden if you prefer that. Now we're just going to cover this with some chicken broth. The recipe calls for chicken bouillon. Better than bouillon, any of those things actually will work. So we're just going to pop a lid on and get these up to a boil. Cook them for about 20 minutes until, of course, they are fork tender. Now over here on the side, I just have a separate bowl, and to that we're going to add some flour and some sour cream. And don't worry if you're not a sour cream lover or you have some picky eaters in your house, this soup does not taste like sour cream at all. It just really adds to that creaminess. So we're also going to add in some milk, and for seasonings, I just add a good bit of black pepper. This is where you can kind of customize it to your family's likings, add whatever seasonings you like, but we're just going to get everything mixed up together. Whisk it really well to ensure there are no clumps in here, and then we will just set this to the side. After that 15-20 minutes, we're going to bring over our cream and flour mixture we just made and add that into the pot with everything. We're going to go ahead and just kind of give everything a good stir, and you'll start to see this is going to thicken up our soup, but we're still going to cover this and let it cook another 10 to 15 minutes. It really doesn't need much longer, but like I said, you'll start to see it thicken up. So just until you think it's thick as you like it, it's pretty much ready. But let me share with you what we love to serve on the side with our potato soup. Matter of fact, my little recipe book that my grandmother gave to me with her handwritten recipe, it says to serve with cheese toast. So we're gonna make our own today, and this is my favorite way to do it. Nothing hard to do, of course, but I love to get the freshly baked loaves of French bread from the bakery section in my grocery store. I will just slice it up, add a little bit of butter to each slice, top with a little bit of shredded cheese, pop it in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes, maybe broil it a minute or two if I think I need to, but something about just this homemade cheese toast with this soup is so nostalgic, so comforting, and just goes super well together. At this point, our potato soup has thickened up nicely. You can see just how smooth and creamy and delicious it is. It still has some of those chunks of potatoes in there. At this point, you could add shredded cheese to the pot or bacon to the pot, green onion, anything like that. But we kind of love to serve ours just as toppings on the side. So of course, I love shredded cheese, bacon, there's that cheese toast, and you really just don't get any more perfect than this, especially for these cool nights we're having. It is just the perfect dinner. I will have the recipe for this typed out below. Actually, it's going to be a link to my website where you can go and print that if you wish. Y'all make sure to give this one a try. All right, now let's get into our dessert for the day, and we're going to be making this old-fashioned peanut butter cake. Like I said, this recipe is actually in my very own cookbook, and it is so perfect. My family requests this recipe all the time, and it's just delicious. So we're going to start by melting 1 stick of butter over in a pot. To that, we're going to add just a little bit of water and a little bit of creamy peanut butter. We're just going to kind of mix and whisk that together until that peanut butter is melted. To this mixture, we're also going to add just 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and then we'll set that to the side while we go work on our dry ingredients. So to a large bowl, we're going to need some flour, some sugar, some baking soda, and we're just going to whisk everything up really nicely until everything's nice and incorporated and combined. And again, I will have this recipe linked on my website for y'all. You can just go click that, but I always also have my cookbook link down in the description box if you're interested in looking at that. So next we're going to add a separate bowl in here. We're going to add some eggs, some vanilla extract. We're also going to add in some buttermilk here, and this buttermilk just takes the flavor of this cake up a notch. You cannot tell it's buttermilk. It just makes it super rich. It almost helps to bring out the sweetness in here, and it's just delicious. So we're just going to whisk everything together really nicely, and then we're going to bring over the mixture we just did with our butter and peanut butter. Get that poured in, mixed together, and then we'll start to add in our dry ingredients just a little bit at a time, whisking as we go until we get everything nice and mixed together. Next, we're just going to pour everything into our greased 9x13 baking dish, and while our cake is in the oven baking, we're going to get started on the most simple but delicious buttermilk frosting. So we're going to add a stick of butter in here. We're going to add about another 1/2 cup of peanut butter, and we're also going to add a little bit of buttermilk to that, a little vanilla extract. Then we will remove from the heat and we will add in our powdered sugar. And I just kind of keep my frosting on the stove until we're going to need it. Sometimes I'll just turn it back on low. You want to keep it melted until it's ready to put on your cake. But I'm telling you, this frosting is so delicious. I love the way you pour it on while your cake is still warm, and then it will harden up on top, and it is just perfect. Y'all really need to give this a try. If after you've added in your powdered sugar, your frosting seems a little bit too thick, you can add just a tiny little splash of milk or heavy cream. Whisk that around until it's perfect. Now our cake is out of the oven, so I'm going to gently just poke a few holes in there with a fork, and then we're going to pour over that warm frosting. Does this not look so delicious? It is the perfect thing. If you are wanting to make this recipe for Christmas, it will be perfect, but this cake is really perfect for any time of year, any occasion. We were actually heading over to my stepdad's for his birthday on this night, and this was his birthday cake that he requested, so I did not get a final video of it. But thankfully, since it's in my cookbook, I have a really nice picture of it. That's what it looks like when it comes out. Like I said, that frosting kind of hardens on there, and it is just so delicious. But if you're still watching, leave me 3 red heart emojis down there in the comments, and let me know if you love old-fashioned recipes as much as I do. Just something about the old-fashioned recipes, like they just know what they were doing. There's a reason why they're still around today. I would love it if you watched my next video. It's right here on the screen. I'll see you guys over there, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.